Alright guys, this is X99 again, and one thing I'm going to do today on this video is show you one thing you can do the next morning after you bake some extra baked potatoes and maybe they don't all get eaten. I can show you a great way to actually use these without having to reheat them up again. Sometimes they don't make the best baked potatoes, even if you heat them in the microwave, they're kind of hard. So I'm going to show you a great way to use these without having to throw them away. And this is going to make a great breakfast as well. So we'll show you how to do that. Alright everybody, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and get your nice big skillet here. We're going to be cooking quite a bit of food in here using 4 baked potatoes. This is going to be mixed in with some scrambled eggs and some cheese, if I can find any here. I don't know if we have any right now. Another thing you could go ahead and add in here as well is, like, if you have any leftover lunch meat or ham or anything like that, you could certainly throw that in here and it'd make a great addition. I don't really have anything like that. But for the potatoes, first thing I want to do is go ahead and put in a pretty generous amount of olive oil into my skillet. Not too much, but you want enough to where your potatoes are going to heat up nice, and just like you'd put butter on the potatoes, you want something to, make them taste a little better. So go ahead and get you some olive oil in there. Get a nice coat, get it kind of all evened out here. I'm going to start needing a camera crew to do this stuff. Kind of hard to do it with my left hand. Go ahead and get it up on high and get this oil hot. You want it nice and hot before your potatoes starts going in. So we're going to go ahead and get that going here. And while I'm waiting for that to heat up, one thing I can do is I can go ahead and start cracking my eggs. And I just use, like I say, to crack eggs, I find the easiest way to do it is to just use one egg to crack my second egg with. That's always worked best for me. I know a lot of people crack eggs different ways, and if the one you're using breaks, then you just use the other egg to go ahead and crack it. Some people can do this with one hand on the edge of the container you're cracking the eggs into or whatever. But for me, I found that when I do that, I get a little bit of eggs dripping on the side or whatever. So I like to do it right over the middle and just use one egg here to crack the egg. Just kind of whack it right in the middle. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. And that's about 10 eggs, I think. So that'll be about enough. Now, one thing I like to do as well into my scrambled eggs, I like to put just a little bit of milk. So we're going to just put a little splash, not too much, but this does help add a nice texture and flavor as well to your scrambled eggs. As soon as you do that, I like to go ahead and whisk it up with a fork. Make sure you whisk up all the eggs good. Alright guys, got my oil plenty hot now. You can see that it's smoking here. I turned it down to about a little over medium at this point. Then what you're going to want to do is just take your baked potatoes that you have here. You want to go ahead and take a knife and try to trim off most of this peel. Now you can do this after it's refrigerated. It will come off and you won't get so much potato off if you have good long fingernails, which I don't. And you can just kind of rip that peel off. But that's a little more time consuming and cumbersome. To me, it's just a lot easier to cut it off without cutting too much potato off. I live here in Idaho, so when I was a kid or a teenager, I used to work in a potato factory here. And that was one of the things we had to do, was stand at a conveyor belt with tons of potatoes coming by and take a knife like this and peel off any black parts of the potatoes before the potatoes were made into frozen French fries and stuff like that for like variety of foods. But go ahead and get your potato like that. And then what you're going to do is, I just like to take it down the middle. This is a pretty large potato. And then cut it down the middle the other way. And then I have 4 crosses like that. And then what I do is I just slice it up right into the pan. And watch the hot oil. It will come up and smack you in the arm or smack you in the eye if you get face too close. So at this point, this is kind of what it looks like with just one potato in there. So we're going to go ahead and slice up these other potatoes that we have the same kind of way and get those nice and brown, get those good and hot before we even add our eggs the first time. Alright, with our heat on still about medium-high, we're going to go ahead and get those potatoes going. I got my daughter here, my 12-year-old daughter working on it here. She just turned 12. And just try to get all those potatoes flipped over and oil on all sides of them. And you can see that I used about the right amount of oil here. I still have a little bit left for my eggs. Now again, if I had any kind of lunch meat or ham or anything, even sliced turkey breast or anything that's left over lunch meat that's going to spoil or whatever you may not eat, would definitely make a great complement to this potatoes and eggs. We're going to go ahead and add our eggs now. Before you add your eggs, I would turn it down to about medium, maybe a little above medium. So before I even add the eggs, I want to be able to appropriately salt and pepper these potatoes. And because I know how much salt and pepper I have to put on my baked potatoes, I'm going to go ahead and add the salt and pepper here, which is going to be a pretty generous amount because I do have 4 large baked potatoes here. Now I just do it by eyeball and with experience. Otherwise you might want to, measure it out a little better, but whatever you put on a baked potato typically and multiply it by how many potatoes you have is probably going to be a good idea, good place to start. Going to add a little pepper as well. And then go ahead and mix all that up, Tori. Let me see your spatula real quick. Let me show you something. Now what you're doing here is you're just stirring it, right? One thing you want to do too is get your spatula up under them and kind of flip them over. See how I did that? Kind of flip the spatula over without making a mess, obviously. But you want to try to help, rather than just stirring them like this, like you're doing. You're doing a good job of stirring them. But every once in a while, go ahead and put your spatula under and then give them a flip. There you go. Look at you learning quick. Good job. All right, we're going to go ahead and add our eggs now. Okay. And you can just add these and pour these in all over your potatoes. And just go ahead and let them cook for a second, honey. And then we'll start stirring them slowly. At this point, while I'm waiting for them to thicken up there, go ahead and salt my eggs as well. And the reason I do it separately is so that I don't over salt them, because I know about how much salt my eggs take when I just do scrambled eggs, and I know about how much salt my potatoes take, so it's a little easier to divide it up. If you can do it all at once and think you can do it fine, then you can do that as well. Alright. Go ahead and start stirring it slowly, honey. Just don't want it to stick on the bottom. And it really shouldn't, as long as you've added enough oil and you've got your heat turned down to around medium. And this is a really quick and easy breakfast as well, and I can't tell you how good this stuff is. Especially if you have some lunch meat in there, if you have any kind of ham slices, or any kind of meat actually. If you had a leftover steak from the night before, or pork chop, or anything like that that was already cooked, that would be really easy to go ahead and dice up with a knife and put in there as well, and it would be fantastic. So you have a leftover pork chop with your baked potatoes, or a leftover, T-bone steak, or whatever you might have. Dice that up really small. I would recommend dicing a steak up or a pork chop up in really teeny pieces, and put it in there. You don't want too big of pieces. But another thing we're going to go ahead and add right now is we're going to go ahead and add a couple of good handfuls of cheese, shredded cheese that is. You could add sliced cheese to this and it would melt just fine if you add sliced cheese instead. Shredded cheese seems to melt a little easier. Alright. Good job. You're learning how to flip it now, aren't you? Alright. Does that look good, Tori? Yeah? Alright. My daughter learning how to cook too. She's really liking learning how to cook. Aren't you, Tori? So. And as long as you see any kind of liquid there, it's still seeing like a little bit of liquid there and stuff like that. Some of that's going to be melted cheese, but probably want to cook it a little bit longer. I like my eggs plenty well done when I scramble them. And this would go fantastic on a tortilla as well if you wanted to make this into a burrito. Scoot your pan back a little bit on the burner, honey. There you go. Alright, Tori, it looks like it's about done there, so your skillet's going to stay hot for probably a good 5 minutes after you turn the burner off. So let's go ahead and turn the burner completely off. There you go. And go ahead and finish those cooking up. If they start to get too done, you can always slide your pan over off of the hot burner so that they don't overcook. But those look pretty fantastic already with cheese, potatoes, and scrambled eggs. And we're going to go ahead and let our daughter take a taste test of these. Let's make sure we go ahead and get a nice big potato as well. Oops. Alright. So we'll see how good this is. There you go. Blow on it. Is that good? Alright. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Good? Alright. So hopefully that's helped you guys do something with those baked potatoes rather than throwing them away. And they can make a fantastic breakfast the next morning. Thanks for watching. This has been Zaxter99. Be sure you give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. If you have any other ideas, anything that might help me out, be sure you leave those down in the comments below. And then also be sure you hit this little subscribe to me button if you haven't already. That'll actually help you subscribe to me so that you get all my future videos on YouTube. And you'll believe if you have it checked in your options on YouTube, you'll even get an email alert anytime me or anybody else you subscribe to has a new video that comes out on YouTube. So you'll be one of the first people to know. And again, I want to go ahead and thank you for watching. This has been Zaxter99. Enjoy your day or night, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. And again, thanks for watching.